Greetings, everybody. My name is David Jordan Jr. I'm the editor-in-chief of eShay Magazine, and today I have the privilege of talking to the CEO of the Good Looking Books, Kim Seabrook. Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time out your day and giving us the opportunity to learn more about you and everything that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. So, first of all, you're from the Bronx. You're from the
I,
Bronx, New York, and
yes,
it's the birthplace of hip hop. And you were actually there in the intricate beginnings, basically seeing how it developed and coming to what it is today. So could you tell us about just coming up in the Bronx and being able to witness, you know, the beginnings? I know you came in after the beginnings, obviously, but you
yeah,
were still
yeah.
in
I
the,
was born in the 70s, yes. So
but
I
you
came
was there
in.
to see the infancy and see how it materialized into what it is today.
Absolutely. I'm a poet, first, and hip hop is actually my inspiration. So in my writing, it helped us through our neighborhoods growing up in the crack era, it gave us some kind of freedom, a happy space. It brought creativity with fashion and just community, something that is missing today. And our ever now.
Definitely.
So, that's what I love about hip hop is just it brought community growing up.
And with that, because you are a poet, you're an author, and
Yes.
also an educator. And as you
Yes.
stated, that hip hop has had an influence on those things that you do. Um, as a child, did you feel that you would do something that had an hip hop element to it or related to it, or did it just come
I
about?
I think so, because I was always on the stage already. So like when I was younger, I did a lot of plays and tap dancing and things like that. So tap dancing, ballet, but also always choreograph hip hop dances, so I didn't know exactly where I would be. It's so amazing that like a lot of the artists that I used to hear growing up are actually friends of mine or those who I have interviewed or, share space with. So it was pretty dope to have like things go full circle. So
So
yeah.
it's really amazing how things will come full circle and things that you like or have an interest in can develop to become a passion and fuel everything else that you do in life.
Yes, yes, yes.
And with you being a poet and also an author, when did you find your creative voice? When did it resonate that, yeah, yo, I really like writing and I like telling stories and sharing my life with people through words?
Well, it started listening through hip hop because when I started writing, I would switch words up from different hip hop songs. So that's where it really started. And then, like we in New York City, we having our little battles and our rap sessions. So we be in the yard of the school or something like that, or the lunchroom and, saying freestyles or a little rhymes. So that's where that came from too. But where the passion really came from was going through an abusive relationship and someone had asked me to perform something and I actually wrote a poem about that. So, but it also anything that I write, even if it sounds like it was something that was quote unquote a bad situation in my life, it always ends up with a positive situation. And that's what I do in my education with the kids and teaching them how to turn something that may not feel good into something powerful. So like turning your pain into so that's what I've done. Yeah.
No, that's a great thing because, some of the greatest works of different people, whether they're musicians, authors, poets, actors, actresses, they say that they derive that from pain and personal experiences,
Hmm.
and they touch people in ways that you wouldn't imagine. With
Absolutely.
that being your journey, how many times have you had people just like totally relate? They're like, oh, that specific line of this poem or on this page in the book that really touched me because this happened to me. How often does that happen to you?
It happens all the time. And actually, the first time I ever performed a poem piece on stage was that very moment that I knew that I can be the voice for others, because women were coming up to me, wow, you're telling my story. I just didn't know how to explain it or say it or let it out, feeling ashamed or things like that. And also the men coming up to me and saying, I'm sorry that happened to you, or in other words, like where he at, they may say something like that too. And so that was a moment where I actually felt safe and felt protected and realized that I can provide something for other people. So
What was the name of that poem that
it's
you
called Thankful for the Pain.
could you
Yeah.
recite something from it? Just
I can say the end of it. So I am thankful for the pain, the hurt, the tears, and the stress, because without it, I cannot appreciate my happiness. Yeah. So
deep.
that's how I end it. But it talks about the whole journey through the bad relationship. I also talk about having an abortion because of it and things like that. So yeah.
No, that's amazing in the
Hmm.
sense of, your experiences not only touch people then, now, and then also in the future, because with people coming across your writings and your publishings, it's able to continue to go forward and have an impact on people as they
Yeah.
continue to live life, as we all do. If we live life, we're going to have experiences. And I think one of the best teachers is, you can learn from others, good and bad.
Mhm.
You learn things.
Absolutely.
And so with your writings, you have the Good Look brand, which you
Yeah.
created. Can you
Yes.
tell us more about GLB? I like saying that, GLB.
Well, the good looking books. So it started actually from me hosting years ago in Atlanta, and I was hosting podcasts, writing for magazines, and also hosting at events and parties. And someone gifted me that name, Kim Good Look Seabrook. And everybody just ran with it. He did like this whole little video slide for me. And he's like, nah, you a good look. You a good look. So the Good Look brand is not about looks. It's about being a good person, being a good look, giving good energy, providing good information. That's what the Good Look brand is about.
And what year did you start that?
2009, 2009, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the things I've noticed with that and seeing everything is the impact that you've been able to have on kids with your publishings. And how did you get into creating pieces for children?
So when I started my career as a poet, I was previously in the car industry and I was living in Connecticut at that time. And I was coming back and forth to New York and doing a lot of shows. And I had got fired from my job. I always got to talk about this because I sold 35 cars in my department, okay, which was more than the other two people in my department combined. But politics, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me because I decided never to go and work for anybody else, to pursue my career. I was homeless for 2 years pursuing that. And again, it from that is not like I just wanted to be on stages. I wanted to provide workshops in schools to help kids to heal from their pain, because a lot of kids are in pain and we don't know. We think that they just go to school and everything is okay. We don't know what happens at home. We don't know what happens in school with bullying, with nowadays, now we have social media, so it's even worse, right? Being influenced by others who they don't know and think that, that is the life. And, when there's a lot of other things going on in the world. So that was my goal, to actually get into schools. And my first workshop right before the pandemic was at a school with teenage girls who were actually in the system, in the judicial system, and also like foster care as well. So yeah, and then it just grew on from there.
No, that's great. And that again, it goes back to one, you're passionate about what you do, and then you have the opportunity to impact lives, because one of the things that you stated, and some people know it but they don't necessarily understand it when it comes to success, is like, sometimes people measure success with money, and it's not about that, because you have a lot of people that have a lot of money and they're not doing anything that's going to impact the person beside them or the next generation. But as you state, success is in what you're able to do and also having an impact on people, and the value in helping somebody through whatever it is that they may be going through is more valuable than like, here's $20, go buy you some food or something like that.
Absolutely.
That's
Well,
work.
let me go back to that first workshop because that was my own first workshop under my company. But prior to that, to get the experience, shout out to Chip Fu of the Fu Schnickens. He actually gave me the first opportunity to work with kids in his workshop. He has a program called MAATH. Don't get me wrong, it's music, arts, appreciation, time, and healing, or music appreciation, arts, time, and healing. Something to that nature. Those two A's are. But shout out to Chip Fu for actually allowing me to work with him. He paid me. I don't, because a lot of people think like, yeah, you working with me. You just know he paid me. He mentored me, and still to this day is like my big brother. So I want to give him some love and respect. Yeah.
What do you remember most about that first workshop that you did that spearheaded you going forth with one yet?
Excuse the background. What I remember most about that workshop is so there's a song called Money, Power, Respect by the Locks and Little Kim and all of that, right? Yeah. So then there was another song by Young M.A. who used that same beat. And what we did with them was we played that beat and told them to write a poem to it or a song. And I came back and I showed them what I did with the song. And I showed them the original song. And then I showed them what I did. So it's not about like money, power, respect. It's about learning how to grow, learning how to eat good food, learning how to be a good person. And those are the key to life. That's the key to life. So that poem, when I showed them what I did, they was like, oh, now I gotta write it over. Now I gotta write something new. And that was like just a pivotal moment in my life where I said, I know that I can make a difference because it showed right there.
Oh, that's great. What age
Yeah.
group were these kids at?
They were middle schoolers
Middle schoolers?
in Brooklyn. Yeah. Yeah.
Very energetic age, the middle schoolers.
Yeah.
If
Because
you can connect
it's
with the middle
like,
schoolers, you got them because they
and they were boys too. So yeah, I love working with the boys. Yeah.
no, that's great. And so when you had your workshop right before the pandemic, um, what was similar with yours, and what did you add to your workshop?
So what's crazy is that I didn't even know what to do. I was like, what am I gonna do? I even called Chip Food, like, what am I doing? He said, you know what, Kim? A lot of times I don't know what I'm gonna do either, but I just go in and figure it out day by day. And that's exactly how I did my workshop. I figured it out day by day. I had a bunch of poems, and I knew that I wanted to show them like if you show other kids or people your experience and how you do things or what happened to you, then they're open more to expressing themselves. So that's just what I did. And every day I went in there and I freestyled it. I may brainstorm the evening before and the morning, but for the most part, a lot of times because you may go in with a plan, but it may just not work out that way. They
Right.
may be feeling something, they may be upset. And that's how some of the girls were at first. It was like, I'm not saying nothing. At the end of my workshop, they didn't want me to leave. They was loving me and everything.
No, that's
So
great.
yeah,
That's how kids
yeah. I
are.
deal with energy, and I like to just work off of that.
No, that's what it's all about because kids, when I interact with students, you don't talk at them, you talk to them.
Hmm.
Kids, I always say the youth is very smart. I've had some of the best conversations with young children, teenagers that, they're going to be honest. If they don't like you, they're going to tell you. If they don't want to do this, I don't want to, and this is why. But if
Yeah,
you give them insight as to why something may work and they connect with you, then you got them in your hands and they'll be glad to and go over and beyond to impress you and show you that, hey, I can do the same things that you do and have fun with it.
absolutely.
In your connections with the youth and through your books, is there one book that you've published thus far that kind of surprised you in the ways that kids have opened up and reacted to it?
So I have okay, so there's two other books besides the new one that I just published, and we'll go into that. That's Hip Hop City.
Yeah.
And I haven't reached out to the kids because I literally just published it the other day. So I have Memory Lane. Memory Lane is a poetry book where I use in mostly high schoolers because it talks about more of life experiences. And after each poem has a word prompt so that the reader can become a writer. And so I use that in schools. And that has definitely have, I mean, the students have reacted to that in such a dope way that I knew, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you feel things, but you really don't know until it actually happens. So that is a dope book that has made more of the high school students relate to life experiences and being open to express themselves and deal with conflict resolution. Also, that's a major thing in my workshops. And then I have the Good Look Kids. The Good Look Kids are three kids with disabilities
Yeah.
who have superpowers. And I also work with those who are on the spectrum. I have clients who are on the spectrum and I've worked with them previous. And I always thought, I was like, they ain't got no disability, man. They got superpowers. So I always wanted to create this book from working with them. And I did. And I use bullying, I do bullying workshops in school. So the way they react is also pretty dope because not only do they talk about if they get bullied, but they talk about when they bully people, right? And why they did it. So we talk about both sides of bullying. And then we also have the aspect of people who are disabled or different, right? So, and how to treat other people and things like that. So, yes, yeah, I'm pretty hyped about what I do. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is it therapeutic for you every
Oh,
time
yeah.
you talk to the kids and they say, well, I'm going through this and going through that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not they teach me a lot. It's not me teaching them. They teach me a lot. Mhm. It's us teaching each other.
No, that
For
is
sure.
really what it's all about.
And healing each other. Yes.
How long did it take you to write Memory Lane, Reminisce with me through my healing poetry?
I mean, so it's like a collection of my poetry. So I guess it took, I always say years because I like had it sitting for a while, right? And I just didn't want to just do a poetry book.
Right,
Like that's my thing. Like my brain like always works extra. Like it has to give something, right? Like what's your why? Like why would it benefit you? Like not me. Why would it benefit the person reading? So yeah, my poem is good, okay. But now what? Right?
right.
What about me, this person reading? Yeah, I went through that. Well, you know what? Here's an opportunity for you to write and reflect.
Mhm.
So, you know, yeah. So I don't know, years, I guess. It took me a couple of years to actually finally say it's out.
No, that's great. And
Yeah.
so, as we continue to talk about the books, Hip Hop City, which is
Yeah.
is coming out, and
Yeah.
first of all, the art for it is amazing. Like
Thank
it's
you.
truly mind blowing. And seeing, it's like real people, even though it's cartoonish, but you see the person. It seems like it might be somebody that you know, and
Yes.
it touches on each of the elements of hip hop and teaching the history of hip hop. What
Yeah.
inspired you to create that book?
Oh man, I've been sitting on this book for so long. Like again, hip hop is my inspiration and writing, so I love it, I breathe it, I feel it. And even like when I recite something, people are like, I thought you was about to rap, or like my cadence still got like a hip hop flow. Even the way that I talk is you could tell I'm from hip hop.
Oh,
So it's just something that I don't know, it just again came from the heart and wanted to let it out. And there's other things that I want to do with it. But I also did create a coloring book for that. And again, also interactive. So it does give knowledge about, a couple of history facts and things like that. And then talking about being authentic and being not following and following your own identity. At the end, shout out to Kwame. Kwame is also a homie of mine. I dedicated the last page to him, but also to the readers to show them to be you, be yourself, because Kwame, to this day, we know him for polka dots, right? So
in the
back
fade,
then, what was we wearing? Yeah, what was we wearing? We were, gold chains or, shell-toe Adidas, right? But Kwame came out with the suits and the ties and the bow ties and his polka dots. And we all started rocking polka dots. Even to this day, when you see polka dots, if you're in hip hop, you think of Kwame. So I also, talk about teach the kids just how to be yourself and be authentic and yeah, stay true to you. If you like colors and you like something different, it's okay. It's a good thing. So
And for our audience, could you please tell them where they can order this book?
yes, you can actually go on my website, the Good Look in books.com, or you can also find it on Amazon. It's on Walmart. It is on Target, Barnes and Nobles. Yeah, just type in Hip Hop City, Kim Seabrook or Kim Good Look Seabrook. Yeah.
You recently had your works put in the Library of Congress. So
Yes.
congratulations, first of all, on that. That
Thank
is
you so
major.
much.
That means it's forever, ever, ever, ever.
Yes, yes.
That
Well,
is
it will be this upcoming year. So everything has been transferred over to them. It's just a long process because it's not just me, it's quite a few others too. So yeah.
so.
Yeah.
How does it feel to know that your work will be basically immortalized forever?
Man, I am so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. Don't get me to crying.
No, hey, it's nothing wrong
Ah,
with it. That's what it's
God, I've
about.
been through so, so, so much, but it's all worth it, like I wouldn't say no, I don't want to go through that again. I wouldn't say that. I would go through every single thing that I've been through in my life, from a childhood to an adult, to be this person that I am today. For real.
No,
Yeah. I'm,
that's
I'm
real.
really proud of myself.
It's the journey. A lot of people don't understand. They think it's the destination that makes you, but it's the journey. The
Yeah,
destination is like the cherry on top. But
absolutely.
the journey, when you reflect back on it, when
Yes.
people
And
say,
shout
"Hey,
out to Time Out of Joint because it's an organization that I also do workshops online with and for formerly incarcerated people. So yeah. So it's a few of us who will be on there. So shout out to Steve, who is the founder of Time Out of Joint. Shout out to Shy Rise, David Hopper. Those are just two of my other colleagues that I work with Time Out of Joint.
so with good looking books, could you tell us more about what you do in regards to publishing? Because I know there are other authors that want to be like you and get their works out. And as a businesswoman, you've had a great deal of success with your company. Could you elaborate on that more?
Yes, absolutely. So I help other people become authors. So I help them so you have to have your own manuscript. However, I do have ghostwriters, or I can help you, but that is a little bit more expensive. So, but the goal is for you to have your own manuscript so that, I can set up whether you want to do a children's book, journals, autobiography, things like that, memoirs. So yeah, that's what the Good Looking Books does, also in addition to the workshops and yeah, help you publish your book and bring it to life, help you become an author.
And how can people connect with you to get in touch with you and see everything that you're doing? Because you're very active on social media with everything that you're doing and all your collaborations and everything. How can people find you? Where can they find you at?
So you can find me on Instagram, which is Good Look Seabrook. You can find me on Facebook, which is Kim Seabrook, and TikTok, Good Look Seabrook, and also my website again, thegoodlookingbooks.com.
So as you've lived your life and you've had the many experiences that you had that have shaped you to be the amazing woman that you are right now,
Thank
what
you.
is the best piece of advice that you've received at any point in your life that resonates with you every day in your daily walk that carries you forward?
That is a good question. The advice I would I wouldn't say advice. I would say the people who doubted me is actually what kept me going. The people who thought I was crazy because I decided not to go get a job again. So I in return would like to just tell others that ignore the naysayers, believe in what you want to do. It's not going to be easy, and just keep going and keep going and keep going. Don't stop, even when it feels like the world is crumbling on you. So I think that's what mostly kept me going and what resonates with me.
Well, Kim, we really appreciate your time and you sharing your life and all the great things that you're doing with us. And we wish you the best going forward with everything that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you again so much for having me. I appreciate you.